Oh, come on! Dude, are you serious? I need to take you to the doctor. Oh my God!
Joseph Traeger, a 50-year-old man from Sunrise, Florida, was arrested for the murder of his wife, Janine Caranzaro, after she had been missing for 3 days. What initially appeared to be a standard missing person case quickly spiraled into something far more sinister. Joseph managed to manipulate even Janine's own family, convincing them of his innocence while secretly trying to mislead.
The man is very smart, very clever.
Okay.
They call him a backstreet lawyer.
Okay.
That's how he's a manipulator.
What I said today is off the record. It's off the record. I mean, you can't. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
Police investigators. The case began on December 1st, 2018, when Joseph finally contacted police to report Janine missing. He claimed he hadn't seen his wife for 3 days. The delay in contacting authorities immediately raised red flags.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I need to file a missing persons report.
What place is this person on the system?
Sunrise, Florida.
What's her name?
Janine Catanzaro.
Okay, and when was she last seen?
Oh, by me, it was Thursday morning. I left for work at 7 a.m. She left sometime between 7:30 and 8, and I have not seen her since.
Janine's mother, Joanne Roma, had also been trying to reach her daughter during that time with no success. As the silence continued, worry grew, turning the missing person report into the beginning of a murder investigation. When police arrived at Janine's home, they noticed troubling signs. Her car was still parked outside, yet her cell phone was turned off and missing.
Where have you been for 2 days? Are you okay? Give us the call and let us know you're alive. Babe, are you in the house? Pick up. Hello? Babe, if you're in the house, please pick up.
What started as unresponsive calls quickly spiraled into a full-blown missing persons investigation, later turning into a gruesome, cold-blooded murder.
Message from the Sunrise Police Department. We are searching for a missing person in need of medical attention in your area. The person's name is Janine Catanzaro.
Investigators checked her bank records and uncovered that Joseph had been out gambling and spending Janine's money during the days she was gone. These suspicious actions, combined with the delay in reporting her missing, made him the primary suspect. Joseph agreed to an interview on December 7th, claiming he was concerned and eager to help. He told police that 2 officers had already searched the house but found nothing.
Your mother-in-law, with Joanne, she actually filed this information report regarding her daughter. And that was done on Sunday.
That would have been the second report.
Okay. You contacted the police first?
6 a.m. on Sunday morning.
6 a.m. on Sunday morning. Okay. You last saw your wife when?
Thursday morning, 7 a.m.
What was she doing?
Getting ready to leave.
For where?
Have no idea.
Where does she usually go at that hour?
Well, okay. Anywhere from a doctor's appointment to the gym. I mean, it could have been. The fact that she was up that early was not out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Her behavior was out of the ordinary that morning. Just as, like I said, she was very frantic, like, I gotta get ready. But she did not elaborate any more than what I told you already.
Okay. So when you left the residence to go to work, and where do you work?
I keep forgetting the address, but the name of it, I got it right here. It's called Trillium, and it's 3407 Northwest 9th Avenue, Suite 200, which is Power Line. So 3407 Power Line.
And what do you do there?
Telephone sales.
And how long have you been there?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Thursday was my first day.
This Thursday morning when you left.
Yes.
Thursday that you left and that was the last time you saw her was your birthday.
Yes, that was my first day of officially working for the company.
Okay.
As the questioning went deeper, Joseph revealed details about their marriage, describing Janine.
So you leave at 7 a.m.
Yes.
And she's in the house getting ready.
Yes.
How is she dressed or what is she doing
She was still in her pajamas at the time.
Okay. So when you left, she was in her pajamas.
Yes. So I do not know what she wore to leave the house.
And what kind of conversations did you have?
Just typical, like, have a good day, good luck with your new job, but I gotta go, I gotta get ready. I mean, it wasn't much of a conversation. I mean,
What about the night before?
everything was fine. As a matter of fact, the night before, Wednesday, is when she asked me to move the car, said, do not leave the car in the driveway. One possessed. So I moved the car to the spot that we had
Okay,
agreed
so
on.
let's talk about that.
As someone with drinking problems who often got into trouble, he portrayed himself as a supportive husband, trying to help her through her issues. When detectives asked why Joseph waited 4 days to report Janine missing, his responses became evasive.
Let's talk about before we get into when you returned home on Thursday. Let's get into your relationship with her. You're recently back in the residence.
Very recently.
When did you move out and when did you move back in?
Yeah, I never technically moved out,
Okay.
but I was not staying at the house. Now, am I under any way going to incriminate myself by telling you guys some illegal stuff here?
I'm only concerned about finding your wife.
I have a drug problem. Okay.
She has this conversation with you, basically telling you you need to clean up or you're not staying with me. Is that correct?
Well,
I understand.
that's close. That's very.
Okay, make it. I don't want to be close. I want to be 100% accurate. What happened?
If you're not going to pay, you're not going to stay.
Okay.
No money, no stay. Basically, cash is king. You know, like that was basically her exact words to me was, if you can find money for heroin, you can find money to put to payment.
Okay.
Like,
So you said you quasi moved out. You were living in your car. Were you back and forth some nights? Or?
oh, of course, I would come back to change clothes. I would come back to take showers. I would come back to. I mean, she was still doing my laundry and everything. And every time I showed up, it was like, you got money? And if I had money, I could stay. If I didn't have money, I couldn't stay. That type of thing. Now, as bad as I know this sounds and looks, there was never any true fighting, arguing. The last thing I ever wanted to do was ever disappoint or hurt her emotionally, physically, in any way, shape, or form. Okay?
When Joseph was asked about Janine's behavior, he claimed something that could give them a possible reason for her disappearance.
She has a drink phone.
Extreme.
Talk about that.
Oh, she has 2 glasses of wine. She can't stand up.
Okay.
It seems like it, but it's not. I mean, if you ever been around an alcoholic? She is somebody who believes that she is not an alcoholic. She believes she can handle the alcohol. She cannot. The second she starts drinking, she becomes, I mean, there's no better description of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde than you will ever see. Okay. When she's drinking, she talks and says the meanest, most hurtful things. And, I mean, she will sit there and say, you're nothing but a junkie, and you ruined my life for 10 years, and I can't believe I did the biggest mistake I ever made, blah, 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 blah. Then, of course, the next day it's all, I'm so sorry, I don't know, okay, well, I don't know why, you know. But it was a constant.
So how often is she drunk?
She drinks a lot. I mean, she drinks often. It's not that she drinks a lot, she can't
And
handle
when
a
is
lot.
she usually?
When?
What time is it?
Oh, at night, when she comes home. If she drinks, she's going to start at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Does she work?
No.
He even claimed that because of her drinking, she had gotten herself into another trouble, and he had stepped in to help her, just like any husband would.
You leave, she's in her pajamas.
Doing her hair at the door like she always does. I mean, everything is totally normal, other than the fact that she seemed to be rushed. No, it didn't seem to be. She was rushing to get ready.
And Wednesday night. Talk about Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, everything was fine. She was out with a friend. I don't know who the friend was. She actually told me she wasn't even going to be home. She was going to spend the night over there, but she actually came home in the middle of the night.
What time did she?
I don't know. That's when she woke me up and said, why is the car in the driveway? I moved.
Okay. You're saying approximately 2 hours?
I could have been earlier, could have been later, I don't know. I mean, I walked, all right. Hopefully there's a camera that'll identify what time it was. I was wearing, I'll tell you exactly, this Wednesday night was actually a cold night. I had put on my sweatsuit, black pants, white stripe, same top, black, white stripe. I drove the car directly to the spot and I walked back.
Okay.
So,
Wednesday.
yeah, it's Wednesday night, at her request. She asked, why is the car in the driveway, so.
And you weren't expecting her home?
Earlier in the day, she had told me she was drinking. Now, she came home, that was fine, you know what I mean? So.
When investigators asked Joseph why he had not made contact in 4 days, his response wasn't just evasive, but was downright baffling.
Thursday night, when your wife didn't come home, you told me that's not normal.
It is not.
I have to ask you why you didn't call the police.
Literally, I mean, I just, does it sound stupid probably, but I expected her to be home. I really did. I expected everything to be fine. I knew she wasn't driving, so I figured she's with a friend, it's okay, everything's all right. Now,
Friday.
understand, wait a minute. Well, because I really want to answer your question. Now, all of this progression throughout the day, and his reaction, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I wouldn't, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, man, I wouldn't want to deal with this either. Like, I kind of understood why she was avoiding everybody. Like I told you at the house, she's wound up so tight and so nervous because of him. I know that it's my fault that she's gone.
He deflected blame, suggesting Janine's family never liked him and may have influenced her to cut off contact.
Well, my fault is I'm there. She's afraid to have that confrontation with her family. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for as long as it's been going on, whether it's from August 21st of 2017 or 2 weeks ago, whenever it is, she's been telling everybody that he's on heroin. He took his life. It's 10 years, nothing was going downhill, blah, 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 blah. So now she's confronted with, I'm giving him another chance. Now I gotta go back and tell everybody that I just told all of this garbage to, that I let him back in the house. In my opinion, at this point, she's hiding out because of it.
Investigators then turned to Janine's closest friend, John, who had last seen her a week before her disappearance. His testimony gave them more insight into Janine's troubled relationship with Joseph. John wasn't the only one concerned. Janine's mother, Joanne, also feared something terrible might happen to her daughter. She had always sensed a threatening presence in Joseph.
So you go to her house on Monday the 26th, and what did you guys talk about?
We talked about Joe, and then she played messages, which were insane. And I've heard several different messages over the last couple months, well, actually over the last month, because that's when she's been out of the house. And they were like, I'm dying of cancer, I got 2 months to live, crazy stuff. And
messages from who?
From Joe.
Honor. So you're describing their relationship as what?
Horrible. She hated him. She wanted him.
Why did she stay with him?
She felt, he can talk. You should have heard these messages. Crying. He's pretty good. He's pretty good at cooking. He's a pro actor.
What came next shocked even the investigators. Joanne revealed that Joseph had a history of violence. He had previously been convicted of assault and attempted murder involving his ex-wife.
But do you think she allowed him back in the house? I don't think so. I'm 99.9% positive. She didn't want him to keep. She didn't want him in his life. She wanted in her life. She wanted him gone.
A revelation that completely shifted the investigation's direction. Police contacted Joseph's ex-wife, the victim of his past violent crimes, to gain deeper insight into his behavior. Her terrified account confirmed the danger Joseph posed. She had barely escaped with her life, unlike Janine, who may have paid the ultimate price. This testimony gave investigators the evidence they needed to consider Joseph as not just a suspect.
Okay, so how often on a normal basis would you talk to your daughter?
Once or twice a day.
Did she say anything or act in any manner?
She was mad at me because her husband took a lot of money. He rang up her credit cards for $50,000. he was mad at me because I left a message. Because of where I work, I told him, look, you're in trouble here. He's got a drug problem. $50,000 in debt. You have to have a plan. I got pro bono lawyers that I know. And I called them up. What can I do to help my daughter? And I said, Janine, not only will they do a bankruptcy for you, but they'll do a divorce.
Right.
He must have heard that. Okay. Because when I spoke with her, she said, you better watch what you say on the phone.
But likely the perpetrator. Still, Joseph continued to deny involvement and tried misleading investigators with new stories. One such claim was that Janine's father came over on the day she disappeared to help her buy a car. According to Joseph, when the father didn't find Janine at home, he left a handwritten note.
How would you describe their marriage?
Okay. They went to kindergarten together.
Okay.
Years later, they started talking or whatever. He was incarcerated, okay, for rape for his wife.
Okay.
Which he claimed he didn't do.
Okay.
Okay. She believed him. However, she believed him. Me, my ex-husband, my brother, we all talked to him. What are you, nuts? I said, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, she married him, and then it was one thing after the other to get him a driver's license. Then he went and took $6,000 out of her bank book.
Okay.
How he did that, we don't know. The man is very smart, very clever.
Okay.
They call him a backstreet lawyer.
Okay.
That's how he's a manipulator. You know what I mean? Something's fishy.
Okay.
Something's fishy.
Okay, we're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Which Joseph later found. But when police searched for the note, they found nothing to support his story. To pressure Joseph further, detectives administered a polygraph test.
Question, did you hurt Janine?
No.
Okay. Did you hurt Janine on or after Tuesday, November 27th, 2018?
No.
Okay. Did you cause Janine's disappearance?
No.
In 2018, have you ever hurt Janine in any way?
Excuse me, what was it?
Prior to 2018, have you ever hurt Janine in any way?
Well, the answer's going to be yes.
Okay, because you told me earlier
Well,
you never hurt Janine.
No, I never hurt her physically.
Okay, so have you ever, prior to 2018, have you ever physically hurt Janine in any way? Prior to 2018, have you ever wished anyone dead?
No.
When asked whether he had ever hurt Janine, he gave a cryptic answer, not denying it, but saying he had never hurt her physically. This strange statement raised more suspicion. Joseph also claimed that after finding the note, he called Janine's father, who supposedly reassured him about Janine's whereabouts. Another lie that was soon debunked. With no evidence supporting Joseph's claims, his web of lies collapsed. He was brought back for further interrogation, now with a stronger case against him.
I come walking in and there's this crazy note. It was something that you don't write to your child. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
You disrespectful bitch. I don't ever want to have anything to do with you again. This type of stuff. You made the biggest mistake of your life. Whatever. So he tells me that I need to tell her that he wants nothing to do with her. That he's out of her life and she upped up, basically.
Unbeknownst to Joseph, the police had been secretly recording him throughout the investigation. These recordings exposed the chilling truth he had worked so hard to hide, that behind the mask of a concerned husband was a calculating killer who thought he could outsmart everyone.
You said this, I'm not walking out of here tonight. But if that was the case, why are we still sitting here? Why am I still sitting here with you talking to you? Why am I wasting my time if I don't need to? Why am I wasting my time? This is done. I don't need to sit here. I gotta be back here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. My shift starts at 8. Why am I still sitting here talking to you if this was over? That makes no sense to me. Write it up, done, walk away. You know why? Because I go home.
Joe, tell us what happened. I don't understand how you can sit here, look at me and Josh, and say that. Tell us what happened.
At this point, just tell us.
What happened? There's absolutely something to tell, and you want to tell it. 100% something to tell, and you want to tell it, and you'll feel better when you tell it. So let's get there. Let's do it together.